Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks again for joining me here. If you're new here, remember to hit subscribe and the like button. Obviously it helps out the channel and the video and making this message reach a lot more people because I think it's very necessary. And if you are here from the original videos, you can see that the message has changed, and the idea that I'm bringing into these videos, at least more prominently, because it was tailoring through, is the idea of critical thinking, logical thinking, thinking for yourself, learning how to break it down, understanding what the agenda is of the message that you're listening to, and then seeing if that message is right for you. Because what I feel like we're lacking in today's society, and I feel like it's been like that for years, not just recently with all the political turmoil, it is the understanding to come to your own decisions and be your own person, not get swept away into cults, into mass thinking. And it's abroad, it's across everything. You know, where I started out from was the grind, the 9 to 5. That's how I came about understanding that I need to think and come to my own decisions and then act on what feels right for me and then pursue that to see if it works. Now, obviously I'm going to get to the point of the video, which is why I'm still vegan, but I think it's very important to have this premise of the video so that you can understand where I'm coming from. I'm not going to be talking about it in terms of, you know, got to be vegan for the animals and more of the emotional and scientific side of the veganism thing. I'm talking about it from the point of yourself and understanding what people are saying and then trying to understand where they're coming from and, you know, what they're trying to push. I think that's, as I said, it's important. This is a message for me just as much as it is for you watching, if you resonate with it, of course. And basically, just skipping back quickly to the point of the grind where I came from, is like leaving school, I just felt like, no, I cannot be a part of going to university and then living 4 to 8 years studying and paying more money and then figuring out what I wanted to do from there. Like if I was going to figure something out, I needed to figure it out fast and then fail, fast and then fail. And I feel like the same deal is with many of these, what can we call them? I don't really want to use the term new agey, culty-like ideas, but I think in this case, it is starting to become that, and that is, of course, veganism. And none other than the Freelee'S video, which has triggered this. This is the Why I'm Still Vegan video. Basically, along those pathways, people feel like they have to belong to a group. So the vegan video from Freelee'S is about, you know, why I'm still vegan, and there are a lot of good points in it. There are a lot of points that I don't agree with, or at least in the way that she's presenting the message, because a lot of the times, if you haven't seen the video, it's basically an appeal to your emotions and then trying to get you to believe a certain way is right and the other way is wrong. And generally when that happens, we stop looking at the reasons why it's wrong. We just focus on the reasons why it's right, and we automatically believe that the opposite should be wrong. And that is a big problem that I see with the veganism movement. And I think that's a big problem because people eventually figure it out that something doesn't work for them or something's not right, and they leave the movement rather than coming to the decision on their own, or, you know, stepping into lots of different structures or lots of different areas of veganism in order to make up their own mind so they can cement the picture in their own head. So I'm still vegan. It's been it's been 6 years that I've been vegan, and I'm not stopping anytime soon, but I'm not stopping my growth either. Now, I looked at the message. This is on the Vegan Society page, so I've got it written down here. So the vegansociety.com states veganism, and you're going to have many different people argue that veganism is only about the animals, it's only about themselves. Like I've said, I really do not care about those comments from people because I've gone through them, you know, deciphered them, and I figured them out that it's just one way that try to push you to think a certain way. So, the vegansociety.com, veganism is a way of life which seeks to exclude as far as possible and practicable all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. So it's as far as possible, and obviously we can take that as far as we want or as little as we want. Now there's going to be some, levels that you probably should cross. You know, we probably shouldn't be eating animals, and we shouldn't be eating some animals and calling ourselves vegan. That's kind of not the point there. But the point is that it's as far as practical. So look, these are like extreme examples, and I guess that's why it's written like that, so that you can understand that it's not a black and a white issue. You might be on some sort of job and they need you have to use some sort of leather protection. Now, I'm not for buying leather and using leather for purposes of like, I need a belt or gloves or any, like motorbike gloves, because you can do other things with it. Now, there are possibly some industries where there might need to be a little bit of leather on some product. That's as far as possible and practicable. Now, I think everyone understands that really, and the point I'm trying to make here is that there isn't a right and a wrong, and it has to be malleable so that we can get as many people understanding that animals shouldn't be used for exploitation. And primarily, I'm looking at it from probably a couple of the big ones, the biggest being the animal agriculture industry. Like, we can see that that is polluting our environment, and I'm not going to get into any sort of, climate change, is it true, is it not? I think if you watch my videos, you can kind of get an idea of where I sit with that. But I don't think it even matters, because you can literally just see the amount of toxic pollution that comes from trying to keep a large number of animals in one particular place, and really it doesn't look good for the environment. We can basically see it's not good for our health, and then it's not good for our psyche either. So I'm not one to tell people anymore, at least, that's my process, my journey that I've come to over the years with diving too deep into certain cults and then having to find my way out of it and figuring out, oh shit, I should have been humble in the first place. I just want to present information, or at least make it easier for people to find information, because a lot of the information is being covered up, especially you can see when it comes to slaughterhouses. It's very hard to get pictures, videos, whatever, inside the slaughterhouses. Why? Probably because it's not a very good image that most people would want to see, and then they would change their idea on what they actually do. That is information taken away from the public. If you still want to watch those videos, you still want to understand, you've gone into the slaughterhouses, you've seen it from beginning to end, if you need to do that, and you still want to choose to eat meat, I don't want to be the person that says you cannot do that. I think I've presented everything I can. If you still choose to eat animals after seeing that, then so be it. Hunting is a different issue, and I've talked about that, and I will go into it a little bit more in some other videos and interview some hunters. I think that's a very interesting topic. It's different to the animal agriculture industry. Doesn't mean it's something that I'm saying that vegans should do or that everyone should accept. I think it needs to be taken with a grain of salt, and you have to look at it from a different perspective. That is all I'm going to say on that one. That's the idea I'm trying to bring here. It's more about being with an open mind. I will touch on the open mind issue just one more time before I wrap up the video. The reason being is that I feel like society is becoming sick in the terms of they're not really thinking for themselves. We are progressing as a society. I don't think we're going backwards. If you look at any point in history, now is the best time to be living for men, for women, for any race. I'm not saying everyone has it good, don't get that wrong. I'm saying this is the best time compared to history. So looking at that, things are progressing. But I think it's very easy to become lazy in our thinking, and I believe that can lead to a sick society, at least in particular areas. And my agenda, why I want to see that, is because I want to have more people to talk with that have an open mind, that can discuss issues, and that I can learn from, rather than looking at a particular, let's say, topic, and then kind of guessing the way people think on everything else. And I heard that from like a Jordan Peterson video. I think he was interviewing like a feminist reporter, which she claimed to be herself, was interviewing him, and then she had some views on certain issues, and then he said, I bet you I can guess all the other issues that you have. That's a political topic. The reason being that the point I want to make here is that it's about having an open mind and then coming to your own decisions rather than following groupthink. And that obviously helps with everything else that we're doing in our lives. And of course, the main reason is being that you can think for yourself and break away from whether it's the work life, the grind. And that's so important so that we can all become healthier in our minds, which then leads into the physical, into our bodies, and then collectively in society. That's where I want to leave it. I understand if there's probably some little pieces that I've brushed over. Like I do with my videos, I like to get some thoughts out, try and make it as comprehensive and comprehensible as possible. If not for you guys, if that's helping and you're enjoying the discussion, mostly for me, so that I can talk it through and hopefully connect with someone out there. And then obviously lead on from there, and then hopefully create and grow a community of people that are understanding and want to see some growth in themselves. That's the purpose. That's my agenda. If you think otherwise, leave your comments down below. What do you think of the I am still vegan, why I'm still vegan movement? Leave your thoughts, comments down below. I'd love to chat with you there and then. But as always, until next video, have more fun and get more done.